I am live as well, and welcome everybody. If you are new to my channel, hello, welcome. I am Caffeine and Chaos, also known as the Linda. If you are not new to my channel, well, welcome back. Obviously, you liked something that you saw here last time. To my left here is the wonderful, the magical, the most amazing, handsome man you'll ever meet, other than my own husband, Drake, the Dragon Mystic. How's it going, Drake?
Doing good.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. This is the Magical Coffee Hour. This is where we kick back, relax, enjoy some caffeine of choice. Today I'm drinking a Bang because I really need the extra caffeine. And we are going to be talking about the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope everyone had a happy Christmas. Kwanzaa just recently started. Hanukkah, Yule, everything in between. I hope you guys had a wonderful time this holiday season. Even if you don't celebrate it as a holiday, I hope you had an awesome week because it's been 1 week since we last saw you. How was yours, Drake?
It's been a good week. It's been busy, but it's been good.
Lots of toys and good stuff?
Lots of toys and good stuff. We've been filming a new class, and we've almost got it ready to launch. So, yay.
Hell yeah. So my question for you is, were you visited by Krampus this year?
Well, there's no kids in the house, so I don't think he'd have been too happy. But if he got my letter, then it should get quieter around the neighborhood.
I like it. Well, I mean, Safi's the size of a child, so I mean, he might get confused.
No, I'm pretty sure he's afraid of her.
I mean, I am.
A lot of people are.
Small people are scary, man. Like, they're my people, and I'm scared of them.
Most of my friends are trying to figure out still how I fall asleep next to her.
Oh, I mean, she's adorable, so I mean, it's not that hard.
Oh, they just have images of her killing me in my sleep.
I mean,
or more. I think they're more worried about her killing them in their sleep. But yeah.
Okay, I was about to say, because I mean, having images of her killing me in my sleep, I mean, that would just help me sleep more soundly. Because it's like, hey, my suffering's over. Anyways, welcome, guys. We have like 2 days left in this year. So I hope you guys are ready to start making some goals, no resolutions, because let's be honest, when you make a resolution, they don't always turn out the way you hope. So I hope you guys have some goals. I hope you guys are ready to take on the journey of 2020, because in hindsight, everything's 2020. So this year, I hope you're looking back on all your experiences previously and seeing how you can improve upon them, or just see how far you've come, because you're here, and thank you for staying with us. So, Mr. Drake.
Miss Linda.
Today we're going to be talking about the new year, right?
Yes.
I have lots of questions, because we've talked about, holidays and how people celebrate them in a magical way. We've talked about Yule, we've talked about the solstice, we've talked about Thanksgiving, and we've talked about, Samhain. We've talked about all kinds of really cool things. We haven't been at this game for very long. In fact, we've only been doing this since October, when we had our first little kerfluffle with lots of technical difficulties that prevented us from saving stuff. So basically, if you don't have picks, it didn't happen, right? So apparently that day did not happen. But with that being, without that little kerfluffle going on, we're still going. We're still keeping it up, and my New Year's resolution is to just keep on doing these with you and keep making them better, and then hopefully I will be back on the mainland, so it's not in the middle of my day.
That would be awesome.
And I can actually enjoy a magical coffee hour, like when coffee hours are supposed to be enjoyed at night.
There you go. There you go.
And maybe in the same place as you, because that would be even cooler. Just kick back in your house.
There you go. We'll just have you right here in the office with me.
Hell yeah. I'll bring over my gear and we'll just have a gay old time.
There you go.
So, yeah, looking back on this year, these last couple of months, where we have talked about what is going on with my iPad. Well, we're not talking about what's going on with my iPad. I'm confused as to what's going on with my iPad, because
I
It
haven't
just
touched it, so don't blame me.
it's all your fault, Drake. All your fault. I think I fixed it. I don't know. Anyways, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah. So, magical properties of the New Year's. Are there any?
That is debated, and the reason is modern society follows the Roman calendar. And the Roman calendar really it's just it doesn't follow a lot in terms of stuff that would really fit with seasons and everything. And it's been modified a lot. So that's one reason like we're getting ready to go into what we consider New Year's. So New Year's Day, New Year's celebration. Well, depending on your culture and your belief, we've already been through a few of them. Some people consider Samhain the witch's New Year. Some people consider Yule a New Year's celebration. And now we're coming up on New Year's.
Okay, that's totally fair. Oh, look, I can see myself again. Yay. My iPad works again.
Yay.
Okay, so you said that Yule is considered the New Year. With that being said, though, so we know how to celebrate Yule. We went over that last week because, we were all wanting to know about wassail and how to get completely toasted and what kind of delicious foods we can eat during Yule. But what other things can you think of as far as paganism, Wiccan, just any magical related, the Celtics? How do they celebrate those New Years? Like, are there any magical properties that are associated with the New Year? I know that New Year means new beginning for a lot of people.
Culturally, I'm not super sure. I mean, there's the Chinese New Year, New Year's is not one I've researched deeply outside the magical properties. But the magical properties in New Year's is pretty straightforward. I mean, you almost answered your own question. It is about new beginnings, it's about new starts, and it's also about change and transformation. And that's a really big point in the New Year's time. So those changes and those beginnings and those transformations is what everything really starts to focus on. And I think every magician I know, that is the focus of their magic when they want to harness that New Year's power. That's definitely what I focus on in many different areas. I actually used New Year's night one year to make a pact with an entity that lasted the entire year. And that was an interesting year because I had a whole year where I was working with that entity to make drastic changes, and I shot for the moon and I overshot. I really did. Everything panned out better than I could have expected.
So what you're saying is you landed amongst the stars.
Yes.
Perfect.
I specifically wrote it in a way because that was actually one of the, when it comes to, I guess what you might call a true pact, that was one of the first ones I've really done. So I was really wanting to push it and test it. And as I was writing it out and everything, the entity I was working with, he's like, okay, now that you've gone big, go bigger. Because he kept telling me, he's like, you're selling yourself short in what you can manifest. Go bigger. So I did, and I think it was halfway through the year, 90% of it had already manifested, and I'm realizing I still didn't go big enough.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So since you did bring up the fact that there are different types of New Year's, being the Gregorian calendar, the Roman calendar, the Chinese calendar, and, technically it ended in like 2012, but the Mayan calendar, each one has a different starting point and a different ending point.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to focus on the Chinese calendar because that's based off of the lunar phases and the lunar movements. So looking forward towards the Lunar New Year, and if I remember correctly, it ends in the middle of January vice the beginning of January, and that's when the Chinese New Year is celebrated, or the Lunar New Year festival
That
begins.
does sound accurate to me. My numbers suck, but that sounds accurate.
Are there any rituals that are followed with the phases of the moon and the lunar calendar in that regard?
Actually, they end up being the same. This is the kind of the cool thing with magic for me, and it's also why I find it funny, because you will hear people arguing about when this is or when that is, or you do this magic here or here or here. But at the end of the day, no matter the magic you're doing, you're harnessing the energy of that time. So, like the lunar calendar. If you're doing prosperity magic for new beginning, you're still harnessing that lunar energy. And since the moon follows a monthly cycle, it's pretty predictable. So that calendar just lines up with those energy patterns. Which, like I said, that's one of the really neat things about magic, is because there is a dependable, reliable method to the madness. And different cultures through the centuries, they've followed different things. Like you said, the moon. And other people follow more of a solar calendar, because I think, now don't quote me on this, but it does appear to me that most of our pagan festivals that we know of are far more solar than lunar, because they pay attention to night and day. As we talked about during the Yule video, the whole purpose of that is to bring the sun back, to restart that cycle. That's why some people, the Norse, for example, viewed Yule as the new year, because it restarts that cycle. The sun's coming back. So that appears to be more solar, as opposed to lunar. And if somebody can correct me on that, please feel free.
So I have a question now. You made me start thinking about something completely different, slightly off topic.
Rabbit trails are fun. Let's go.
So sun magic versus moon magic, is there such thing?
Yes.
And then what is the difference? And is it affected by, times of the year?
Less than...
Sorry, it just popped in my head.
No, it's a good question, and I might get in trouble here.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so this is debated somewhat. I know magicians who will say that there is a difference, but it's very little. In fact, the magician I'm thinking about places sun magic above moon magic, because as he puts it, the moon's light is nothing but a reflection, and a dulled reflection of the sun. Please, pagans, don't come to my house with torches and pitchforks. That's his opinion, not mine. If you want to kill somebody, let me know. I'll try and get you his address. Now, that said, if you really want to argue it, like I said before in one of our episodes, if you follow energy back far enough, it all goes to the same source, but it's just been filtered through different things, so it has changed somewhat. Now, you said, does the year affect it? The year does definitely affect solar magic. And this is largely in how much solar energy is available at that time. Because the longer the sun's exposed to the earth, the more energy makes it to the earth. Or, if you want to plan it so you're doing your rituals when the sun is at its peak, you have a bit more narrow window. So, the year affects that solar arc because of how the sun fluctuates night and day. Whereas the lunar arc is more affected by the month.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but now I have more questions.
I would expect nothing less.
Sorry that I keep giving you controversial topics.
No, I actually enjoy them because, like I said, energy can be viewed as energy is energy. But
I just don't want you to get, stabbed in the streets by a pagan.
Wouldn't be the first time. But it's just one of those things where people really latch on to their thought process or belief system, and I respect that. But one of my early lessons in magic, my teacher purposely would find ways to cut me off from the ways I would normally achieve a goal in order to make me think of a new method.
Okay.
She always wanted me to look for an alternative method and don't fall into a pattern.
Makes sense. Keeps you from being complacent.
Yep.
So, my follow-on question now is, I noticed that, like, stars, like, I'm going, like, way to the left here and bringing up astrology now. So, I know that there is a lot of focus on stars, constellations, the way that the Earth enters the different constellation houses. I mean, shit. Pentagrams are a star. Is there any like representation of like how that works as far as like the yearly cycles go?
Astrology is not my strongest point. So in depth for astrology, we're going to have to find us an astrologer. But from magical standpoint, there is some symbolism of stars in a lot of New Year's celebration. One most people probably recognize as fireworks. But that said, the stars do have an effect because they're producing energy and they're in motion too. And energy, it's like water. It's constantly flowing, but even though a river's constantly flowing, doesn't mean every time you snap a picture of the river, it's going to be the same picture. So when we talk about a birth chart, for example, a birth chart would be you taking a picture of the Mississippi at the time that kid's born. I don't care if you snap a picture immediately after, something has changed. And it's that change that would be represented in someone else's birth chart. Even if it's a second later, something in the energy has changed. So when people are talking about the stars having an effect, it's from a magician's standpoint, I have to say that. It's more of an energetic snapshot that is imprinted at the time you're born because that energy was there. It has an effect.
So if the energy is changing constantly from the time that you are born, even if you enter the house of, we'll say, like Venus, because if I remember correctly, I was born in the house of Venus, wouldn't that mean that even a year later the house of Venus would actually be changed again?
Yep. And this is where astrologers and a lot of magicians butt heads. And this is one reason I avoid astrology, and I'm tempted to study it at the same time. In my mind, in my practice, I can use magic to manipulate energy and shape it to serve my purpose. Okay? So if I can bend energy to manifest the results and guide my life the direction I want, why do I need to worry about the energy the stars are using to try and steer it someplace else? Because it's kind of like irrigation work. Why do I need to worry about the river where it's going when I can just move the river?
This is true.
And that's what I do. I actually do a weekly ritual where I take all that energy coming in from the universe and I funnel it to my goals, what I'm looking for. So like Mercury retrograde, I'm sure we'll do a show on that one day. But I don't care about it. I don't worry about it. And I have people who get mad at me because they never see it affect me.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm convinced it doesn't affect me, and you can call it a placebo effect if you want, but I'm constantly taking all that energy, even Mercury's energy, and I'm shaping it to what I want, not what it wants. So instead of swimming in a river that was determined by someone else, I'm swimming in a river I built. I know every piece of that river. So there's no undertow or anything for me to worry about.
It's kind of like that song from the movie Pocahontas. What's around the river bend?
You know that I've not seen that movie?
What? What?
I was excited when it was coming out. I wanted to see it, and it's just one of those movies. It's never worked out that I've ever got to see it.
Is it culturally accurate? Hell nah. Is it just a really good movie? Yeah.
Well, that can be said for just about anything. I go to the movies to enjoy a movie. I don't go to the movies for factually accurate history lessons. That's what books and libraries and research is for.
Well, I agree with that. However, I'm just putting it out there before somebody comes at me and says, that movie's not culturally accurate and it's a cultural appropriation. Rah! It's a very entertaining children's movie.
Yeah.
It's a very entertaining children's movie with great scoring in it. And I love the music, especially What's Around the Riverbed. Okay?
Yeah, what song is it? There is one that I used to love that song from that movie. Something about painting with the wind.
Yeah, Colors of the Wind.
Yeah. I actually really did like that song. So, yeah.
It's a good song. Also, that part of the movie, it's like an acid trip. It's amazing.
It's Fantasia all over again.
Fantasia, if you watch it with a fever dream, it's terrible. Yeah, that movie gave me nightmares when I was a kid. Like, I watched it once when I was sick, and after watching it when I was sick, I could not watch it again because it terrified me. Like, it haunted my dreams for a long time. Couldn't do it. Haven't watched it since.
I remember first time I watched Fantasia was probably when my family realized I was wired differently from everyone else there. Because they're all enjoying it. Everybody loves Fantasia. I'm actually somewhat bored because other than the Mickey Mouse scene, I was kind of bored. And then they got to the point with the big demon on the volcano all pissed off and angry.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's getting scared, all the little kids. And my only thought, and I said it out loud, was, well, I'd be upset too with all this music. Guys trying to sleep. Yeah.
That's fair. That is a fair assessment there, my friend.
Pink elephants.
Hi, Cuddles. I love you. I hope you're having a good day. Cuddles is a friend of mine. She just dropped in. My mic is muted. Oh, God.
Oh, Lord. I've been hearing you this whole time.
You told me I was...
I said I could hear you on mine.
So apparently I have been muted this entire time.
Oh, Lord.
So whatever footage I have on my side, I hope you're not using it. Thank you, Cuddles. Oh, my God.
Oh, Lord. This conversation must sound wonderful.
Only on my end do we sound insane. Or, well, only on my end does anything sound insane.
You're not the one talking to yourself. I've been talking to myself now for 20 minutes.
So Steffi can hear me. It's because it's on my end that you're not going to be able to hear me. But, at least, you're just going to look insane on my side.
Yeah. Cuddles, you can catch the first half on my stream. And when I upload it to the YouTube replay, I'll make sure to use my stream as well. Thank you for letting us know that.
Yes. Thank you, Cuddles. I love you. She's the babe. Oh, I see Steffi over in your chat right now. Hey, Steffi.
Yep.
She's got to be sneaky. I love you. Mwah. Okay, so, let's see here. What have we covered since, we've been talking for like 20 minutes without, Oh, so we have Mr. Drake, the Working Dragon Mystic. Let me give you a quick shout out, Drake. Gotta make sure that I'm typing this correctly. Dragon Mystic.
So a little nerd fact about me, when I used to play Mario,
Huh?
level 1, when the music would start, I would stand still for the whole doo 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 doo, and when it goes doo, I would jump and then take off. Every time I played.
Everybody does that. I feel like everybody does. Music just moves you the right way.
Well, it was weird. That first level, I noticed if you actually follow the music, you almost miss all the monsters without trying. It's weird.
True? Okay, so I'm going to do a quick recap for anybody who's watching our show from my channel, because apparently I'm a dumbass. We have covered the magical significance of the new year. The fact that the new year is different for different people. So if you are celebrating the lunar new year, that's completely different from the Gregorian new year. And the Gregorian new year is different from the Roman calendar new year. And the Mayan new year calendar, which, by the way, the Mayan calendar is kind of over and done with, that is a different new year completely. So, depending on who you are and how you celebrate, depends on when you want to say your new year is. Your new year is also... There's also different types of magic. There is a sun magic and there is a moon magic. However, sun magic, according to some magicians, is much stronger because the moon is actually reflecting the light from the sun. And then there is the astrological thought process of the different houses and the different constellations in which the stars provide different types of energies. You can control those energies instead of allowing yourself to become a psycho bitch by Mercury in retrograde, because that might be a placebo effect. And now we're talking about Colors of the Wind and What's Around the River Bend by Pocahontas.
Yeah. Actually, back on that lunar thing real fast.
Oh, we're going back to the lunar thing.
Yes. Yeah, let's kill that rabbit for a second. We'll resurrect him. When it does come to moon magic, I do have to say that I have done some moon magic that have got massively good results. And the fact that the moon's energy does shift, because you have the new moon, you have the waxing moon, the waning moon, and the full moon, that gives you a variety of things that you can utilize it for if you want. And then, of course, we also have blue moons, super moons, and black moons.
And blood moon.
And blood moons.
Quite licking the wall.
So, I mean, the main reason for me not using lunar magic more in my private practice, I don't want to wait for the moon to come around.
Truth.
So if the moon's in the phase that I need it in when I need my work done, I'll use it. Otherwise, I ain't got time. I'm on a schedule.
This is factual.
So,
one thing that we touched on, but then we kind of got sidetracked when we were talking about Pocahontas, is and one other side note about Pocahontas. It is a great, entertaining Disney movie that is greatly geared towards children with a lot of adult themes. However, it is not very culturally accurate. So anybody who wants to come at me about the cultural accuracy and cultural, I forgot words. I'm now like
appropriation.
Too hyped up. But anyways, yeah, cultural appropriation. If you want to come at me about that, I'm saying it's a good, entertaining movie. Fantasia was a fucking psycho trip if you were sick, which I haven't been able to watch it since I watched it when I was a kid when I was sick, because it gave me horrible nightmares and still does to this day. And the only reason why Drake even liked it was because of the angry demon, and he said it was because of the music and the singing, and people drove him nuts. There. We're all caught up on my side. We're all caught up on my end. Now, where I was going with all of that is we brought up fireworks and what their significance is in the magical realm. Drake, what kind of magical properties or significance do fireworks have?
Well, outside, as I mentioned earlier, there's significance and representation of stars. The big magical significance of them falls into transformation and kind of a guiding light and a beacon into the new year. But transformation is the big one. And that's because this is the time when I'd say most people are doing transformation magic of some kind. And I've heard it argued, well, I'm not doing transformation magic, I'm doing prosperity magic. You're trying to change your financial situation. Transformation magic is you are creating a change of some kind. So, And because of that, those fireworks really carry that heavy significance in magic, because you're talking about spiritual alchemy as well as physical alchemy. So you're trying to create internal changes and external changes. And I mean, we could do a whole thing on alchemy in and of itself, but those changes usually take a process of some kind. And magic allows us to focus that process to reach the specific goal we want faster, and sometimes, not always, make the path a little smoother. Because sometimes in order to speed up the path, it gets a bit rougher.
Huh? So, bring me to another question. Or another topic that I wanted to talk about.
Okay. Hit me with it.
Some of the biggest goals for people, some of the most common goals for people when it comes to the New Year's. You know, you're making New Year's resolutions. I don't believe in making a New Year's resolution because everybody gives up after about the second or third week. It is a scientifically proven fact. Most people give up on their resolutions. However, if you make goals for yourself, like I want to be able to do X, Y, and Z by this time of the year. So I want to be able to lose 5 pounds by February 15th. You know, that's a very attainable goal. Now saying, I want to be able to be a size 2 when I'm a size 14 by December 31st of this year. Congratulations, sis. You just made yourself a resolution that's not really attainable because we go through peaks and valleys of our shit, and you know it's not going to happen unless you just plan on starving yourself or you know getting super sick and being stuck in a hospital for like 3 months, and then that might happen. But I digress. So there are a bunch of major goals that a lot of people make during the new year. One of them is finances. One of them is, like I said, weight gain, weight loss, or fitness in general. Some kind of academic goal, so like making the grade, making the dean's list, making the, I don't know anything of it, honor roll, those kinds of things. And then there's the people who want like job security, a new job, a better position in job, not necessarily related to money, but more like job satisfaction. That was the one I was trying to think of earlier and I couldn't think of it. It was job satisfaction. Are there any incantations, spells, anything that someone can do to kind of help themselves along with any of those goals?
Yes. First off, incantations. Your best incantations will be essentially written by you. And when you write an incantation, keep it simple, keep it repeatable, like a single line of a song, something that just flows real easy as you say it. And if you want, you can even put it in a different language. Otherwise, the best place to get incantations for a purpose is from an entity of some kind. Like the dragons actually gave me an incantation for working with them at one point that I didn't know what it was, but somebody told me it's Latin or Latin-ish. So that doesn't. I didn't know it actually had meaning, but okay. Spell work, though. Yes, you can do spell work. This is a great.
That was the word I was looking for.
You can do spell work greatly. Now, for this, I would actually recommend you set the spell up in one of two ways. You can do a single large New Year's Day spell to catapult your goals on and get them started on the right track. Now, I'm not a big fan of long-term single casting spells because you're releasing a large amount of energy at one spot and you're wanting that massive amount of energy to cover a massive distance. So everything else in the world, all the other energy that goes through the year is also going to be working against it. So it's kind of the fire hose analogy. You can turn a fire hose on and try to drink from the nozzle. Not going to work. But if you get far enough away from it, it won't even reach you because it loses its momentum as it goes out. So my preferred method, what I teach my students, and if you do the big one, go ahead and do it. There's nothing wrong with them. But don't just do that and stop. What I recommend, or you can just start this then, is I have a prosperity spell that's a long-term prosperity spell. And I usually recommend doing it once a week. And once you get the process down, the spell wouldn't take you no more than 5 minutes. Or if it took longer than 5 minutes, it'd be because you're choosing to focus more energy and time on it, not because you had to. And it uses one candle. So what I do for this spell, and this spell got me from bankruptcy to I'm comfortable. And I get a green candle and I charge it for prosperity. If you don't know what that means, just hold the candle, focus all your intent on the candle, push as much intent into it as you can. Sorry. And
is there a reason for it to be green, or is that just your preference?
Green is generally considered prosperity. Okay. So the more symbolic elements that you can add, it helps your subconscious focus on it. So if there's a prosperity color that makes more sense than green to you, go with that because that's what your subconscious is going to latch onto first. So you really need to go with what makes sense to you. That's one of the things they like to leave out of most books because your key goal here is to get your subconscious on board with you, as well as release that energy. But and then you light the candle, and what you do is I want you, when you're staring into the flame, it's kind of like scrying into the flame. You're going to see the flame releasing the energy from the candle out into the universe, but you're also going to picture actually having your goal met. You don't want it. Don't worry about how you got it. None of that. You want you to have it. You already got it. It's accomplished. It's done. It's present tense. And hold that visualization there 5 minutes. If you can. If you can't hold it 5 minutes, hold it as long as you can. Now here's the kicker. Most people will say you use a candle once and throw it away. Bollocks. And don't snuff it out. I'm actually going to break that rule too. When you blow the candle out, instead of just blowing it out, breathe in and pull that prosperity energy in, and then blow the prosperity energy, and a bit of your personal energy will go with it as an offering to the candle itself. So you're actually further charging the candle when you blow it out. You keep the candle, it acts as a talisman, so it's constantly drawing prosperity to you. The energy you release during the spell is constantly drawing that prosperity to you. And a week later, you relight the candle, repeat. So you're constantly putting out the energy, and your talisman's getting stronger and stronger and stronger every time you use it.
Even though it's getting
Even though it's getting smaller, that small piece is still holding more and more energy as it goes.
So what do you do with when it's done?
When it's done, you have two options. You can either go ahead and throw away the wax that's there. Or, I actually know one person, he will keep the stub in a box and just start another candle. If, like, let's say you're wanting to do this for a whole year. And he would keep the stub and keep the whole year going, just getting new candles until he was done. And until he manifested what he wanted, he would keep the stubs. Once manifested, he'd just throw them away.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. There's a detailed version of the spell on my YouTube.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, if you are watching on my side, go check him out at YouTube, Working Dragon Mystic. My God, I can't talk. I should probably avoid energy drinks before these.
Maybe. It seems to be having an effect. But that's how I would go about doing any spell for the year. I would set it up so you get that big burst, but you also have those continual checkpoints. And anytime you're working on a goal, I think those checkpoints are important. And in Magic, that's the reason I prefer path working over many other forms of working, because you have a progression that you're working through. And you mentioned weight loss. I think that's one of the better ways. Instead of trying to reach, like for me, I'd love to get down to 250. I'd love it. That's a huge jump. So I'd probably break it into intervals, either 5 or 10 pound intervals, and work my way down.
Okay. Are there any, based off of the 5 main goals that I gave you, are there any specific entities that you would recommend requesting assistance from if that's the direction that people are wanting to go? Or do you even recommend an entity work for those kinds of things?
Actually, for long-term work like that, yeah, I really do like working with entities, because it's kind of having an astral accountability partner. If you actually set it up and you ask them to help you, they will bust your balls to keep you motivated. They really will. And that, in my mind, is one of the biggest benefits of working with these entities. Not only are they going to add their power to it and help you, but they're going to bust your balls to make sure you're doing your part. So, for education and knowledge, Odin, he's someone I've worked with in that area. So when it comes to knowledge, he's pretty gung-ho about it. And, I mean, I've been so tired that I thought I was falling asleep driving, and I wasn't going to be able to do my research when I got home. Well, I went to bed. Within 5 minutes, I'm wide awake because Odin's like, nope, go to work. It's like, we have a goal. We're meeting it. Come on.
Okay.
So look for any entities for education and knowledge that they have an attribute or reason to like it. That's what you're looking for. Odin, I work with him so much, he comes to mind. Azazel, if you're okay working with demons, he is a wonderful teacher. He'll teach you anything you want to learn or help you learn it. I can never remember the archangel for knowledge. I can't. I'd have to look that one up. Fitness, those you're going to look for any entity known for fitness. Thor, Ares, Odin can come out on this one too. Tyr, Heimdall. Let's see if I can come up with. If you can't tell, I do a lot of Norse magic.
A little bit.
Let's see. I mentioned Ares. I know Ares. Hades actually is pretty good for fitness, though honestly he's not the best. Oh, Hercules. You can actually use Hercules.
I was about to say, isn't Hercules kind of Mr. Buff Man?
Yeah. The horned god in paganism, most people don't think about it because he's more tied with fertility and stuff, but as a god of the wilds, physical fitness comes in with survival of the fittest, so he actually would be a great concept there. Any of the huntresses or style goddesses like Diana. Who's the Greek goddess that the Spartans didn't like?
Athena?
That one, yes. She has a couple combat aspects, so physical training was important to her. So yeah, any of those, just do your research and look for a physical entity or an entity that rewards physical labors. They will help you with that because if it's important to them, they're going to help you achieve it. And there's a lot out there. That's one of the things that makes it so hard to just pick one name up.
would like to welcome Mr. Guaps to the channel. He's also a longtime viewer of Caffeine and Chaos as well.
Yay! Was it Guats?
Guaps, like
Guaps.
Guapo.
Guapo. Oh. Well, hello, Guaps. He says what?
He says hello.
So that's
okay. So you can,
that was prosperity. What was the other ones?
It was success, like work success. There was physical fitness. There was money or prosperity. There was knowledge, school, weight loss. Well, weight loss fell under fitness.
Yeah,
but,
weight loss would, honestly, if you're looking for weight loss, and take this from me because I've tried. Because believe it or not, I actually got this question recently about entities making physical change with no work. It does not work well because they are not liable to make a change that you won't maintain.
Can I make a comment on that?
Yeah.
So based off of what you have told me in the past, because you've told me a lot of really, really, really good stuff, and from my own personal journey with fitness and nutrition and all the shit that I do in my personal life as far as that goes, there are no supplements, there are no entities, there are no magical of any type properties that are going to do something for you.
Nope.
that you are not willing to work hard for yourself. They can give you the building blocks in order to do it. So like a personal trainer. A personal trainer will even throw entities into this. An entity and a personal trainer will give you those building blocks, whether it be the motivation to do it through the entity and their magic, or a personal trainer teaching you how to work out and do the different workouts, or even a supplement, because contrary to a lot of people saying, there are some supplements that really do help with like blocking cravings and stuff of that nature.
And that's
as much,
you've hit the nail on the head there, because when you're working with an entity, if you just want them to magically make you a weight or something, you're not likely to get it, and if you do get it, you're not going to like it. I've heard horror stories. Well, I've heard horror stories where people have gotten disgruntled when an entity wanted to help them, and they basically made a demand.
Don't do that.
And they ended up in a hospital, and they did lose the weight. Because it's like, okay, you want to be like that? Let's go that route.
You gotta be willing to work.
Right,
but
you
in
do.
some kind of work.
Now, that said, they will help you lose the weight faster. I've noticed that if I do something with an entity's help, the weight or the muscle, the weight comes off faster and the muscle will build faster. But I'm still having to do my part in it.
That includes eating.
Yep, that includes eating. Yep. And for those people who's going to ask about spiritual fasting, it can be done and all that, but it still has to be done in a safe and reasonable way. And thankfully, we're finally starting to see some real literature on the science of that.
Yes. I like science.
Yes. So if you're considering spiritual fasting or any type of fasting, right now the guy who's doing the most science is Dr. Jason Fung. Look him up, read his stuff, follow it, do it safely. Don't be stupid.
So would spiritual fasting be considered the same stuff that Gandhi did?
From my understanding, yeah, because he did fast for purposes and goals and enlightenment. So it really depends on how you use it. For me, if I do it as it's a sacrifice, something I'm giving up during that time period. And it can even be argued if you're sacrificing something to yourself, but when I'm working with Odin's a good example. I will do a lot of fasting when I'm working with Odin long period. Because Odin is an entity where sacrifice is big. I mean, he hung himself on a tree, stabbed with his own spear. If that's not sacrificing something in order to get something, I don't know what is. So, I'll add fasting in there, kind of because when he hung on Yggdrasil, he didn't eat or drink. So I give up food, kind of the kickback to that. So you just have to use it and use it properly. But ironically, the science is showing that with the human growth hormone, the increased brain activity, there is a lot of magical benefits because that mental clarity that comes, it's going to increase your meditation, it's going to increase your focus. So all these things that you naturally try to achieve in magic, the fasting will increase it as well, as long as you use it and keep yourself healthy. So science is actually showing there is a reason to do it, which makes sense because even the Bible says, constantly talks about prayer and fasting for healing.
Isn't that the truth?
And science is finding out they might have known what they were talking about.
I mean, I'm not hating on the Christian faith or the Bible or anything like that. I just remember as a kid, we did a lot of fasting. As a child, fasting is the worst thing because all you want to do as a kid is snack and watch cartoons.
True that.
You don't want to sit still and pray and eat. But you know what? Your faith makes you do it. God says it's a good thing. Do it.
Now, I'm pretty much against kids fasting at all. And that's because they're developing and your brain needs the fat and all those nutrients. And yeah, I'm against kids at all, period. Even on a spiritual level.
There's sometimes I think some children need to fast, but that, that's a whole nother topic.
That's a different situation. But I know where you're going with that, but that's different.
That little kid that goes, snacks, snacks. A kid scares me. She needs to lay off the snacks.
Yeah, if you're at a point where you could probably be used as a beach ball, you could probably forgo some.
Despite your age, yeah.
But
don't fast your kids, people. It's not good for them.
So we're way off topic now.
We are. We've been doing that a lot lately, but I feel like we get a lot more activity that way. Oh, by the way, Cuddles went over and shot you a follow, BT Dubs. So
awesome. Thank you,
just
Cuddles.
a heads up. She is a babe and a half. If you ever want to go and just hang out in her little cuddle puddle Twitch, she's hilarious. Absolutely love her. She's a gamer. She sometimes cooks. I don't know when the last time she cooked was, but she's pretty awesome. I love her.
Cool. So did she follow me on Twitch or was it Facebook? Or not Facebook. What's the...
Twitch.
Okay.
That's what I shot over to her.
Yeah. Apparently I need to start doing more Twitches according to Travesty. So.
Travesty is he is a supporter of your work.
Yeah. And we are actually planning to start up some streams where we talk about my research and what I've got going on.
I am looking forward to you doing that. That is me saying I can't wait to see you do that, friend. And as a fellow streamer, I'm looking forward to you doing that. It's going to be great.
I think people just like hearing my moments of stupidity.
No. I enjoy them just because I like getting you flustered. But that's beside the point.
I tested one ritual, woke up 8 hours later.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where the entity that you're working with is like, yeah, you could do that, but you're not ready for that. Okay. And then a few minutes later, I'm like, I'm going to try it anyway.
So, since we have about 5 minutes left of our stream, unless somebody would like to start chiming in and giving us some questions, I think it would be a really good time for you and I to go over our personal desires, our intentions for the coming year.
Oh, okay.
See how I didn't use resolutions?
Yes, I do. Can you give me 2 seconds?
Go ahead.
Okay, usually you're the one running off stream. I won't do it this time. Be right back.
Oh, are we having a potty break?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. While he's running away off stream, guys, anybody who's out there in watching land, is anybody wanting to know any specific questions or have any requests for future streams from us. We have a few that we have already lined up that we're already considering. And then I'm pretty sure we're going to go over that. I see Liquor in the background, and he hasn't shared with me. Anyways, if there is anybody who has any questions or any requests on what you would like to see in future streams or for him in his videos, please let us know. We are more than happy to do whatever you guys want. If you want me to like hang out wearing a witch's costume, I'll fucking do it, just for shits and giggles. But I gotta know. Please don't tell me that's what you want, because I don't own a witch's costume. That's just weird. Welcome back. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had to turn my speakers off, remember?
I forgot. Welcome back.
Yay! I'm
You were
back.
missed.
Yeah. Oh, y'all missed the grumpy old mage?
I was talking hella shit about you.
It's probably
I'm
true.
just kidding. Mostly not true. Anyways, so I figured we'd go over our intentions for the year, for the channel, for our personal growth, and and then we can go over what you got brewing up over on your YouTube channel and in your classes.
Sounds good.
All right, so my intentions for the year. If you have been following my Twitter or you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you already know that I'm getting ready to transfer from Hawaii to the mainland, hopefully. As far as the location goes, it is still up in the air as to where I'm going. I have an idea, but I'm not going to share that until I have 100% confirmation that, yes, this is the location I'm going. So until then, I'm just going to keep it a secret. But with that being said, I have a lot of work I got to do within myself, and thanks to encouragement from Drake, that includes a lot more meditation, and I'm going to start making it a point to start meditating at least once a week, and working on myself internally, because there's a lot of stuff that's been happening in my life that I obviously don't talk a lot about because I don't like talking about it. And I know it's been bogging me down. Hawaii is just not a good place for me. So I'm working on internally fixing that for myself. And then physically, I need to start working out even more, because the place that I'm looking to go work is a much more physically demanding environment. That includes the deployments, that includes the actual like working regime. Everything to do with this command is going to take a lot physically out of me. So I need to start working on my endurance and my physical prowess now before I get there and I get my ass whooped, essentially. Because that's what's going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen anyways, but I at least want to be more physically prepared for that. As far as the Twitch channel goes, I plan on putting together a proper streaming schedule that isn't going to overwhelm me again. I did get very overwhelmed with my stream schedule there for a little while, and I kind of unofficially quit because I mentally was not prepared to be doing streams again. It was just too hard. And I plan on getting my YouTube channel back up and running because I miss vlogging, and I plan on bringing that back and getting the dogs involved and start training again for more races and marathons.
That'd be great. I want to see that.
Haven't you been on my YouTube channel?
I'm not sure I realized you had one.
Oh, yeah.
I remember you mentioning considering it, but I don't think I ever realized you actually did it. I think when you were saying you used to have one, and I think you were saying you used to have it, but it came out as if more you was considering doing one.
No, I did one, and I haven't really updated it since I've been in Hawaii because it's just been too much on me mentally to do a lot of stuff, and my job just makes me too stressed.
Totally get it. Totally get it.
So what are your intentions for the year, Drake?
Well, ironically, I have a ritual for physical fitness and weight loss that I've been wanting to test out. It is written in long-term format, so I've needed a good time to start it. And after running a lot of testing on quick weight loss that everybody wants, with not getting the results I want, I'm going to try that. So that's going to be one long-term goal. And if that ritual pans out, then I'm going to be losing some of my fat. Yay!
Hell yeah!
So, yeah, that's probably going to be one of the rituals that I talk about during the stream when we start up, because that's definitely something I can easily update people on. We are also looking to actually get 3 new classes filmed, edited, and uploaded to the school. One of which is the Dragon Magic class. That'll be beginner to advanced in one class. So that'll be a massive class. Because apparently everybody wants more dragon magic.
Because dragons are awesome.
Yeah, I just did not expect it to take off like it did when I put that video up that first time. So there's, and focusing on my research and my personal path, for one. I'm definitely wanting to dive a little deeper into both the Cliffothic tree and the runes a little more this year.
With that, I would love for us to do a episode about rune magic here in the future, especially because I know a lot of the times when you move your hands. What's up, Darian? Welcome. I am well. How are you, friend? I know that whenever you move your arms, you actually display your runes on your arm, and I would love for us to go over the rune magic. What your runes mean, if you're willing to talk about that on stream, and then also just kind of go over as a whole, like, what rune magic is. Obviously not today because we're running out of time, but I would love that to be one of our future ones.
Okay.
Like I said, you don't have to talk about your personal runes, but I would like to talk about rune magic in general.
Oh, I have no problem with it. You all might find that one funny. I think you'll be surprised by the answer.
Oh, shit. Well, we'll have to say that for another one. By the way, Darian, welcome to the stream. Stream's going well. We're actually getting close to the end of it. We're doing our last rounds, unless you have some questions for us that you would like answered in regards to magic in the new year. Once a week on Sundays, we call it the Magical Coffee Hour, where we sit and we talk about magic. Me, as somebody who brings in the pop culture references, and then Drake as our resident expert on magic and what it means and how to use it and what the public and pop culture portrays it and how is it actually IRL.
What's the reality of it?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with words today.
It's all right. I got you back. We're a team.
Mwah.
And you fit in overhead compartments easily, so perfect team. We save on airfare.
Factual. It is factual. I don't fit under the storage bin underneath the seat, but I do fit in the top.
As long as it's in the top, it's carry-on.
Facts. Anyways. Oh. It's true. English is a very hard language for a lot of people to learn, and the fact that I am a native English speaker makes it even worse.
And I have very thick Southern, and I use a lot of slang, so...
This is factual. See, I just hide my Southern accent. Only a few people know about it, so...
I try, but it pops out a lot.
I've had a lot of practice.
So... Since
I was little. Little. Not little now, but little. Little Linda. All right. Any safe rounds from anybody? And that is military speak for, does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, bitches, gripes, or complaints before we tell you goodbye? Yep, shut up, Guaps. With that being said, would you like to let us know about this week's class, or would you like to tell us about this week's videos?
Yes. As I mentioned earlier, we did just finish filming, and it's actually in editing, a class on clairvoyance or arcane sight. So, shortly after New Year's, that should be going live at the Working Dragon Mystic School. And that's actually going to be a free class. So that one's going to be available completely free to sign up for and work through. This week we recently just released the how to craft a physical circle for use in your rituals, meditation, or any of that if you were interested. We released a video on mugwort and some of the uses for it. And next month we're actually going to be dedicating the month to dragon magic. So our Tuesday videos on the YouTube channel will be dedicated to dragon magic, the 9 elemental rulers, and how you can start working in dragon magic and find a co-magician and a guardian dragon and just start a very basic practice.
All right, sounds like you got some solid plans coming up. So for Darian, he asked us about our resolutions. We actually just went over them, but I have no problem talking about my resolutions. One of them was I need to start working more internally for myself. Being stationed out here in Hawaii has really put a big damper on me spiritually, mentally, and I need to get myself over with that. I don't do resolutions. I do goals. I do short-term to long-term goals for the year because resolutions, they end up just kind of falling apart. So for one of my goals, I plan on working towards meditation at least once a week. That way I can start kind of getting myself right on the inside. Physically, I want to start working out more because of where I'm planning on going with my next tour is going to be a lot more physically demanding. So that's going to take a lot out of me physically. So I need to build up a lot more resilience and I need to build up a lot more endurance. So I end up dying because I don't feel like dying because I didn't work out enough before I got there. And for the Twitch channel, I plan on putting out an actual schedule again and start doing vlogs again because I got overwhelmed with my schedule. Work has been beating me up. My mental health has been beating me up, and it's just not been working out for the Twitch channel. I don't like projecting on camera. It's not something I enjoy. So I try to avoid the camera when I'm having a bad day, and unfortunately, being out here, a lot of days are bad days, and that also happens to happen when I have my schedule up. So I plan on putting together a schedule and sticking to it. And yeah. And then for Drake, would you like to redo your resolutions for us or your goals?
Yeah, I'm in the same ballpark as you. My resolutions are kind of goal oriented. So definitely want to get more classes up on the school. That's one of my big ones that I'm working toward. But I'm also wanting to start streaming here on Twitch more, so I can connect with viewers and fans a bit better, and perhaps people can get to know what I got going on and what it's like behind the scenes a bit. But I'm also wanting to push myself some, so I did a path working with the Cliff Off this year, and it was mostly through meditation style work. I'm wanting to ramp that up and do a path working based around evocation work. So that's going to be an intense and interesting path working, and I am wanting to work with the runes more this year. And on the mundane side, I'm going to use it goes right back to magic. I'm going to do some ritual work to help get some weight off, try and get my weight down. I'm going to do it in increments, but I would like to hit 250 before the end of the year, if I can't go lower. Because 250 is still too high for what they say my healthy weight should be. So, those are my main focuses. I'm sure my year is going to be packed full of a lot more, but those are definitely my main focuses.
They are all very good goals. And Darian, he said he's going to be supportive. Guap says he wants a girlfriend. So single ladies, Guaps is muy guapo, even when he's being a butthead. And Darian, he says that's one of his goals as well. But you know what? I think they're both fantastic men who any lady would be lucky to be loved by them. That's my personal opinion on them. Both of them are fantastic human beings, and they're both very supportive. So if they are half as supportive of their significant other as they are to their friends and who are on Twitch or in real life, that woman's going to be a lucky lady. So, single ladies, get in the chat right now. Check out the boys. Men, sorry. And, what made us do the magical coffee hour? So, Drake is a magic practitioner who I've been friends with him and his wife for 9 years now.
Yeah,
Well,
and
his wife first, and then eventually him once we got out of boot camp. But we've been friends for about 9 years, and he came to me with this idea of doing a podcast because he does magic work and he's wanting to start expanding upon his business. And he came to me, he's like, "Hey, I want to do a podcast, but I don't know what to do." And Steffi thinks that you would be a great person to talk to about it. And I was like, give me a second. Let me think on this for a minute, and then I'll pitch you an idea. But I think that's a really great idea
yeah,
to kind of get your business out there. And I pitched him this idea. How about we do two sides of the same coin? What is real magic, and how does pop culture portray magic, and what's real and what's not? And he was like, "Oh my god, that's a pretty cool idea."
yeah. I was a little surprised she jumped on it the way she did. And technology hates me, so I'm actually glad to have someone who knows what they're doing helping me with this project.
I don't know what I'm doing half the time, but I'm happy to support a friend, and he gives me motivation to do more with my life and my channel. And it's always nice being able to support friends. So this is English is hard. This is a venture that I was happy to be a part of, and I am happy to be going into the new year doing something fun like this with a friend instead
Definitely.
of just finding some random dude who's like, "Hey, you're kind of cool. Would you like to do a magical coffee hour?" And I'd be like, "Who the fuck are you, dude?" I don't know what you're talking about. But like I said, Drake's a good friend, and I'm happy to help a friend, and it's helping me out because it's getting me back into streaming, and it's giving me a different outlet, which I'm enjoying. So this is our little baby, and I'm happy
Yeah.
that we were able to conceive.
Well,
it
I have to
together.
give you a lot of the credit because let's be honest, what I pitched you was not what you said. I pitched
Oh,
you. I'm trying to get out and reach more people with some real solid information and get some facts out there to those looking. And you thought that was smart. And then I mentioned the podcast and that Seffi thought you might be a great addition. And once you
okay.
decided you were on board, you started asking me questions, and every answer to every question you asked me was, I don't know. And you came up with, well, basically the framework that we got here.
This is true.
So without you, this wouldn't be happening. And without Seffi, because I'll be honest, I don't think I would have thought of you.
This is also true. Seffi is the glue that
Yeah, because I would have thought you were way too busy. So
Also, I know this is going to sound really silly, but I just realized in our camera focus, both of us have a door on the left-hand side that looks exactly alike, except for mine is silver, yours is gold. And we both have like a red sheet type looking thing in the background of some kind of level. So I just realized we're vibing on that level, and it's kind of funny.
Yep.
And yes, we were doing it on Saturdays, but Saturdays are hard. I usually use Sunday for homework and kind of vegetating, so it just kind of ended up working out. Sunday was a better day to do it. So we moved it to Sundays. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For Hawaiian time, it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. For those of you who speak military, that's 20 Eastern and 15 Hawaiian Standard Time. Do the math on the rest of the time zones because I can't math.
We'll be here a while if we start naming them all off.
Yeah. All right, boys and girls and boys, and everybody in between. Thank you for joining us for the Magical Coffee Hour. We are definitely over time. Thank you so much, Darian, for dropping in. Your support on this channel is always a blessing. I am so thankful for you. I hope you have an awesome new year, everybody. Guaps, I absolutely adore you, and I really hope we get together and hang out sometime soon, because every time that we try to meet up, it doesn't work out. But it's going to happen soon. I believe in us. We can do the things. Everybody who's dropped in and said hi or lurked, Cuddles, thank you so much for dropping in the lurk. Thank you for dropping in on Drake's side and checking out his channel. Every little bit of support helps. If you want to check out more of Drake's stuff, just look up The Working Dragon Mystic or Working Dragon. I can't remember what your Twitter is, but it's different from the rest
Dragon
of the stuff.
Working.
There you go. It's Dragon Working.
That, but yeah, that's what they gave me.
But check him out. Check out his channel. Check out his YouTube channel. Check out his Facebook group. He is an amazing human being. He's full of great knowledge. And if you're wanting to learn more about the magical properties of anything, he is the person to ask. If I ever have a question, I go to him. Or I wait until I do the stream and then I ask him because, I like putting him on the spot like that.
It's fun.
Anyways, for everybody who doesn't know, I'm Caffeine and Chaos, also known as the Linda. This handsome devil over here is Drake, the Working Dragon Mystic. It has been great getting to know you guys on a magical level the past 3 months. Ooh.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the next year being amazing and magical and full of caffeine because God knows I'm not me without a little bit or a lot of bit of caffeine.
Caffeine good. Energy drinks you might stay away from next podcast.
Maybe. I'll consider it.
We'll
all
consider
right, guys. I look forward to seeing all of you next year. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.